Hello and welcome back to the another episode of the Hindu News Analysis. Well, the date is 11th October 2025, and in this video we are going to discuss some important articles which are very much relevant for your preparation. So before we'll start our discussion, I would like to give you the brief idea what our approach would be with respect to every article which we are going to discuss here, so that you will get much ready for it. With respect to every article, first we will try to understand the summary of the article. What is the summary? We'll try to understand what does the article wants to convey us, what it is about, and we'll try to pick up the language of the article. Second, we'll look into the key points of the article which could be very much relevant for your preparation if you are preparing for the exams like UPSC, IAS exams, or JKPSC, or any state civil service exam. These key points could be very much important for you because this is the area where from you get the questions from the current affairs. Then third, we'll try to look into the possible prelims or mains question. Possible prelims or mains question. We'll try to look into that. What kind of prelims question can be asked from this article, or what kind of the mains question can be asked from this article, can be inspired from this article. So we'll look into that. So this is what we are going to do in this video. This is what we are going to. This is the approach which we are going to have with respect to every article which we have to discuss today. Now, without any delay, let's have a look at the first article which we had brought here. Well, this is the report given by the National Crimes Reports Bureau of 2023. It gives us the data according to the article. What are the crimes which are increasing in our country? What are the crimes which are picking up the race? So this gives us the data about that. What types of crimes are there? How many there are registered crimes? For example, if we see surge in the murder cases, what does it tell us about? For example, if the murder cases are increasing, does it mean that this is the real picture, or it is the only those cases which are being registered by the police? Or if there are any cases against children, are they the real picture, or they are the only the registered cases? So this article tells us the various ideas. It gives us the various reports. It gives us the data about the various crimes which are increasing since 2022, how they had increased. Is that the real picture, or it is just the does it really, is it the real picture, or this is the altered data? So this is what this article here highlights. So first we'll look into the key points of the article here. We'll try to find out what are the crimes. We will see how they are increasing. Are they decreasing, or are they increasing? That we will look into. Then we will try to understand the actual data. What does the article further classify it as? So for example, here it talks about the murder. So changing from how it has changed from 2025, it is saying that 2.8% has 2.8% decrease in the cases that had been registered with respect to murder. And here, how many are there total registered cases in 2023? It is 27,721. So definitely the trend says that the murder cases are decreasing. Murder cases are decreasing. So this is what the article here gives us with respect to murder. But at the same time, this article also talks about these are the only cases which are registered. There are so many cases which go unregistered, and they are not counted at all. And we know the real story of our country. We know the real what is actually happening on the ground. So most cases pertaining to dispute, why there are so many murder cases, what could be the reason for that? Here the article highlights that most cases pertain to disputes, personal vendetta, enmity, or gain. So it is basically the enmity between these persons, or there would be the personal gain there. So because of these, there are such murder cases. Then what about the crimes against scheduled tribes? There we are seeing 28.8% surge. What are the total number of? So definitely, according to the article, the crimes against scheduled tribes, it had increased to the highest levels. What are the total registered cases? 12,960 total registered cases, up from 10,064 in 2024. So definitely there is the increase in the total registered cases. And why? What is the major reason of these crimes against scheduled tribes? It is basically what we are seeing in the Manipur. Manipur saw a massive spike from one case in 2022 to 3,399 cases in 2023, largely due to ethnic violence. And Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan also recorded high crime rates. So these are the states which are seeing high crime rates. Basically, major rise is seen in the Manipur. Why? Because of the ethnic violence which is happening there. Then what about the cyber crimes? It is also increasing. There we are seeing 31.2% increase, and the total registered cases, it is 86,420, which is the total registered cases from 65,893 in the 2022 data. And what is this rise linked to? This rise is linked to increased internet penetration and digital finance transactions. The majority of the cases are financial fraud followed by sexual exploitation. So these are the majority of the crimes which are noted here. Then what are the crimes against children? It is 9.2% increase. There is, we are also seeing 9.2% increase. And what are the total registered cases? It is 1,77,335 total registered cases. And in the 96% of the cases, the offenders was known to the victim. The offender was known to the victim. So it is the close, majorly, who did such crimes against the children. They are the close relatives most of the times. So that's how we have to take care of our children. How education, how well educated they should be. They should be well informed about that, how to how to complain such things to their parents if any such activities happens. Then what about the crimes against women? It has seen 0.4% increase there, is which is modest overall. And if we look at the total number of cases, it is 4 lakh 48,211 total registered cases, which is quite big. But if we will compare the rise, it is very small. And the modest increase masks a 14.9% spike in the dowry related crimes, 14.9% in dowry related crimes, pointing to a persistent societal issue. Cruelty by husband or relatives accounted for the highest share of cases, which is 29.8%. So basically, these are the domestic cases which are associated with the woman. So this is the data which was given in the article. Now from this data, many questions can be asked. A question can be asked whether there is increase in the murder cases or there is decrease with respect to scheduled tribes. Is there increase in the murder cases with respect to them, with respect to cyber crimes? So different types of questions can be asked. But at the same time, even though we have this data, the data says that there has been the decrease in the murder cases, but in reality, is it so? There is the biggest question mark, because we don't have the actual number, because all the murder cases are not reported. Some get lost during the registration of FIRs. So there are various issues with respect to that. So till now, this is the data which we have. So with respect to this, what can be the question which can be asked in the exam? Here the question says, with reference to the key findings of the National Crime Records Bureau Crime in India 2023 report, consider the following statements. The overall registered cases of murder across the country recorded an increase for the first time in 5 years. This is totally incorrect, because there has been the decrease. So this first statement is incorrect. So with respect to this, we can eliminate option A and we can eliminate option D. Now we are left with option B and option C. Now let's have a look at the statement 2. The highest proportional surge in crimes was recorded in the category of cyber crimes, surpassing the increase in crimes against scheduled tribes. That is true. Then the rise in the crime against scheduled tribes was primarily driven by the ethnic violence reported from Manipur. That's also true. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is option B, which is 2 and 3 only. With this, I hope you had understood the article, you had understood the data given in the article, and you are well aware of what kind of question can be inspired from this article. Now with this, let's move to the another article. Let's try to understand that. Well, here the article talks about the holistic demographic mission. Recently you might had heard that how this new demographic mission is under plans. New demographic mission is under plans. So with respect to this, the article argues that it should be much holistic. There are various, even though the major aim of this demographic mission is to curb the illegal migrants. So but at the same time, if we look at the demographic dividend we are enjoying in the country, we have the best demographic dividend. Our youth population is very huge, but at the same time, what we are seeing various issues with respect there. For example, if we look at the educational level, that is different, the skill level, that is different, but what is required in the industries, that is totally different. So definitely there is mismatch in this regard that we have to take care of. Then at the same time, we have to assure health to these people and various other aspects. So with respect to this, let's have a look at the key points. We'll try to understand what does the article talk about in detail, and then we'll try to understand what kind of question can be asked from the article. Let's have a look. Here it talks about the initial mission focus, announced August 15, 2025, initially limited to monitoring undocumented immigration from Bangladesh in border regions, that we know. Then the core argument, India needs a holistic demographic mission to leverage its large youth demography and sustain its population well into the next century. That is what the article here had argued. Then what are the things which we had corrected so far? For example, with respect to fertility and mortality, major advances have been made in these areas. Need for broader scope must examine demographic transformation over the last 2 decades. What are the demographic transformations, including the evolving capabilities, education, health, livelihood, and institutions in response to migration. Then it talks about the infrastructure imbalance. The education and skill infrastructure is skewed across regions, creating inequalities for the less affluent, hindering the skill capital dream that we know. Then it talks about the migration challenge. Migration is a major population balancer but is met with an adverse political disclosure. Migrants face a constant battle of belonging. For example, they see the migrant disenfranchisement. Internal migrants are often enfranchised from voting rights in both their home state, not a usual resident, and the host state. They are denied this voting right, who are often in the internal migration. Then it talks about the longevity challenge. Growing longevity requires a rethink of social security provisions, redefining economic productive years, and involving employers in financial preparation. Then, what are the policy recommendations? Policy must move beyond the per capita hangover to account for the composition of the population in allocation and provisioning need for demographic sensitization. So this is what this article here talks about. What are the various challenges it has highlighted? For example, especially with respect to the migrants, as they are often in the migration and they've internal migration, and they face this disenfranchisement. They are denied this voting right both in the host state as well as in their home state. So these are the various issues which it talks about. It further talks about the educational infrastructure, how it is beyond what is required. At the same time, the health, livelihood, even though we had done various changes, but there are still much changes are yet needed. So with respect to this, let's see what kind of question can be asked in the exam. Here the question says the efficacy of a nation's demographic dividend is contingent upon its ability to transform a large youth population into a skilled and mobile workforce, while simultaneously addressing the challenges posed by an aging population. Discuss the three most critical non-traditional policy frontiers: internal migration, human capital development, and social security for longevity that a comprehensive demographic mission must tackle to ensure equitable and sustainable development. So, if you want to write the answer to this question, please do write. Give your thoughts. What you had understood, and if you want this answer to be checked by me, then write a mail on the salvation UPSC 136 at the rate gmail.com. Now, with this, let's move to the another article and see. Well, this article is about the hydropower project on Chenab gets clearance. It gets the environmental clearance. So here, with respect to this, as it is on the Chenab, which comes under the Indus Water Treaty, which is under abeyance, or we can say suspension with respect to Pakistan. So it is somehow important. It becomes important for us. Uh, as we know that Indus Water Treaty is under abeyance or suspension, so this project it becomes important. First, it has got environmental clearance, and it has highlighted that as this treaty is under suspension, this water belongs to Pakistan according to the treaty. We cannot have the run with respect to run out dams. We can construct it, but still we know that there can be issues from the Pakistani side. So with respect to this, it becomes important. So we need to know some basic data about this dam, which can be very much relevant with respect to our exam. So let's have a look at the key points here. First, here project identity. It is this Sawalkote hydroelectric project. Sawalkote hydroelectric project. It is a location on the Chenab River in Ramban, Jammu and Kashmir. Type and capacity. It is the run of the river project with an installed capacity of 1,856 megawatt and projected annual generation of 8,000 million units. What is the strategic context? First major project on the Indus Water rivers to receive environmental clearance since India's suspension of the Indus Water Treaty on April 2023 after the Pahalgam attack. Implementation project management was transferred from JKPDC to the National Hydropower Commission Committee Limited in 2021 with NHPC responsible until 2061. What is the clearance history? Uh, Initial environmental clearance was granted in 2017 but stalled due to lack of forest clearance. Fresh clearance was accorded in September 23 to 2025. Economic impact estimated cost has significantly increased, ballooned from 2022,000 crore to 31,386 crore. So this is the data which we need to know about this project, Sawalkote hydroelectric project, because it becomes important as right now the tussle is going on between India and Pakistan. As we know that Operation Sindoor is still there, but it has been paused, so it becomes important. With respect to this, let's see what kind of question can be asked from this article. Here the question says that Chenab River, on which the Sawalkote hydroelectric project is planned, is a tributary of which of the following major river systems and is governed by which international water sharing? It is easiest question which they can ask. It is Indus Water Treaty system, Indus River system, Indus Water Treaty. So with respect to this, I hope you had understood the article. The aim of reading the newspaper is not just mugging up everything what is given there, but the aim should be that how we can get the information which is relevant for us, which is to be asked in the exam. And for that it becomes very hard for an aspirant who is uh, new to this, and it will take for some 4 hours, for some 5 years to read the newspaper, and still they would not be able to understand the points. For that, you know what we are doing this, we are giving you the work which you are going to do in 5 hours, we will do it for you in 30 minutes. You just have to watch the video and you are sorted with the current affairs of the day. So with this, let's move to the another article. Let's see what is given in here. Well, it is about Venezuela's opposition leader Mario Machado, who wins Nobel Peace Prize promoting democracy. So it becomes important. Mario Machado, a question about her can be asked. Is she the first woman who had got the Nobel Peace Prize? Answer is definitely no. Is she the 10th woman? No. She is definitely the 20th woman, which is given there. And she is the leader of the opposition in Venezuela. And what is the reason for that? She had promoted democracy in this time period where democracy is under huge threat, where the dictatorships are increasing. And she has raised her voice against the election malpractices which are happening in the Venezuela. So with respect to her, let's see what kind of questions can be asked in the exam. So first we'll look into the key points here. Here, laureate and motivation Mario Corina Machado was recognized by the Norwegian Nobel Committee as woman who seeks the flame of democracy burning amid a growing darkness and a key unifying figure in the opposition against President Nicolas Maduro's government, that we know. What is the context of the struggle? Ms. Machado was the former opposition presidential candidate but was disqualified by Maduro's government from running in the election. The article highlights that she has been forced to live in hiding despite serious threats due to government's crackdown on dissent. Dedication in a post on X, formerly Twitter, Ms. Machado dedicated the prize to the suffering people of Venezuela and President Trump for his decisive support of her cause. And what is the historic note? Miss Machado became the 20th woman to win the Nobel Peace Prize. So this data is very much important. So here, what can be asked in the exam? First, a question about Venezuela can be asked. Please know it is, where it is located, what are the neighboring countries, and what is the country which it has close border with, and what are the issues going on. So please read about the Venezuela. A question about it can be asked in the exam, and a direct question about the Nobel Peace Prize, Mario Machado, where from she is. A direct question can be asked in the exam with respect to her. Now, with this, let's move to the last article of today's discussion. Well, it was on the page one. India's Kabul mission to be upgraded to embassy. So right now we are seeing that there are, India has started to recognize the Taliban government. Now the India's Kabul mission, which was shut in when once the Taliban took over again in Afghanistan. Now they are upgrading it to the embassy. So definitely we are seeing that the relation between India and the Taliban, India and Afghanistan are improving, and we are seeing that there are some common challenges between India and which India and Taliban face. For example, Pakistan, the terrorism from Pakistan, the cross-border terrorism, cross-border militancy, which both the countries face. That is one of the major challenge. So, in order to solve these issues, both the countries had started to come together, and India will support them financially. The Taliban government has urged Indian companies to invest in Afghanistan in their minerals so that both the countries can improve. And at the same time, India has proposed to gift 20 or 30 ambulances to Taliban and to the Taliban government, to the Afghan people. And at the same time, India has, there has promised to increase to give more visas to the Afghan people, to their students. So various things have been discussed in this meeting. So let's see with respect to this, what are the key points. First, who is the announcement? India will upgrade its technical mission in Kabul to a full embassy of India. Correct. Indian minister, it is the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. Afghan dignitary Foreign Minister Khan. Amir Khan Muttaqi, Taliban's administrator in the Taliban administration. Then, what is the security concerns raised cross-border terrorism as a common threat, urging coordination? India also condemned the terror attack in Pahalgam. Aid and visas. India committed 6 new health projects, pledged 20 ambulances, and promised to facilitate travel via a new visa module, medical, business, and student visas. What is the Afghan invitation? Taliban invited Indian companies to invest in the mining sector. So this is the invitation given by the Afghan government. So with respect to this, what kind of question can be asked here? The government of India recently announced the upgradation of its diplomatic presence in Afghanistan during a meeting with the foreign minister of Taliban administration, which Indian establishment in Kabul was announced to be upgraded to the status of a full embassy. It is the technical mission which we had discussed. With this, we had completed our today's discussion. I hope you would have liked the video, you would like it. I hope you would have understood everything what I had given here. If there is any confusion, please do write in the comments. We are here to help you. And with this, please stay with us, for the next class, which we are going to upload at 6 p.m., where we will discuss the history, ancient history. So from today, we will continue our program. So if you want to get connected with us, please do subscribe, do share it with your friends, and do write in the comments what else should we bring for you guys. And if you want to read from the book which we are preparing for you, for example, for Indian polity and governance, we have the comprehensive book. This is the holistic book which you should read, and you will get everything what is required for you to clear the exam. If you want to read from it, what you will have to do, mail us at salvation UPSC 136 at the rate gmail.com, and you will be told to pay only 200 rupees. This is the minimum amount which you will have to pay for this book. If you want to get access to it, please do mail us, and then do pay 200 rupees. You will get this book. So with this, I would like to conclude my today's discussion. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you very much and have a nice day.